Hello and welcome to the pre-game release AMA of Age of Gods. My name is Nick, I'm the CEO, and in today's episode we're covering 69 questions. So I'll try to go over them as quickly as I can. And without further ado, let's get started. So the first question is, where do you see Age of Gods in 5 years? Well, we are inspired by AFK Arena, so we're definitely going to try to mimic a bunch of the qualities that that game has. It's a multi-million-dollar development game, so we have a long road to go. But yeah, we're going to move closer towards that. And I see us as a mobile-first, low-intensity game where you can earn some money and hopefully big tournaments happen every 2 weeks where people earn some money. And that they can spend it, of course, inside the game as well. That there's nice competitions, guilds, and ladders and stuff like that. When will 1.0 release be happening? Well, it's going to be happening when it's ready. We are aiming to do so in Q1 this year, in 2023. So it's scheduled for March, most likely. But again, it depends on the development team. And so there's always some risk that there would be some delay. It could also be quicker with developers, though unlikely. So usually things have to be pushed back if things go wrong. But again, I'm still hopeful and still pretty optimistic that it would be either end of Q1 or beginning of Q2. Will you add Binance Wallet as an option to pay in-game? Definitely not ruling that one out. We are a project that's in the Binance ecosystem, and we do our very best to have everything Binance inside the game. So definitely not ruling it out for now, though. Yeah, we have partnered with Crypto.com as a payment option, but the Binance wallet would definitely be up next. What are the plans for the upcoming year? Well, we first going to release the game, right? And then from there, 1.0 will not be perfect. And from there, we're going to improve and iterate. We are also planning to have an invite a friend type of referral system where you're not hurting anybody, but just getting a bonus when you refer someone. And then also the new player who joins in gets some sort of special deal simply by signing up and playing the game. So these type of things are upcoming. And then obviously, as I said, like the game improvement and focusing further on our expansion in terms of centralized exchanges and listings. Why are you so silent on Twitter? Are you going to add a Discord as well in the future? So these are two questions. Silent on Twitter. I don't think we're silent on Twitter. We do post from time to time. I know that there's been criticism that we should be more active on Twitter. What you need to know is if I look at all the statistics across, all time Twitter traffic and Twitter, gaining any new gamers coming from Twitter is absolutely minimal. Like it's less than 1%. So Twitter doesn't do much. No, that doesn't. Then you can also argue, well, you're not active enough on Twitter. That's why it's not doing much. So we have invested actually recently in from my own personal fund, because I don't think it's worth Age of Gods funds to do that. But for my own personal fund, I've hired somebody to help me out to post some more stuff on Twitter and to interact with more people. But I'm telling you, I'm predicting already in a few months, it's not going to make any difference. But okay, so we are more active on Twitter. We were never silent, though. So again, just depends on, do you want to see that every day or every week? I don't know. But yeah, we are going to post more regularly. We are not adding a Discord. We've had Discord. We've removed it. Why? Because we are under 24/7 attack by scammers. People impersonating me. People have been scammed a lot, even on Telegram. So we need to focus our efforts on one channel, moderate that one channel as well as we can with 24/7 coverage, and try to avoid people getting hurt. So if I'm going to add a Discord channel, it's only going to complicate that. And so that's why we're not doing that. And why is there so little action on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook? This has been mentioned a lot of times. In case you're too busy, hire someone. Well, I just covered that. We're not going to have community members, you know, doing a official channel from us, that's just a bad idea. So hence why we're not doing that. In terms of YouTube and Facebook, I don't think we're that silent on it, honestly, and we're more active on it than most other projects. So I disagree there, but again, I'm looking at effectiveness, and the effectiveness is minimal. Will NFTs change when we ascend our in-game gods from gods to ascended god level? That is the eventual plan. It might not happen in 1.0 though. So we are looking to implement that, but you have to understand that that requires a technical swap from one NFT to the other, and that's not an easy technical feat to do. So for now, in the very first release, you can upgrade your gods further, and it just requires the NFT to have it. So the principle is still the same. Obviously, we have built in these levels so that the NFT could become more valuable as you progress through the game, have achieved, let's say, higher statuses of upgrades, to then also have your NFT be upgradable, and then that you could potentially sell it one day on the marketplace for more because they're more rare. I also think it would be a good idea in general, because there's 1,000 NFTs per god, to have, you know, these different levels out there, and sort of reward the people who have progressed their characters. So yes, but again, technically a complicated feature which will be implemented and will be made, but you know, not this quarter. Please tell us something about yourself. How old are you? Are you married? Any children? What do you do all day beside bringing AG to 1 billion market cap? I'll keep that short and brief. I am 34 years old. I am engaged. I have been married before and divorced, but engaged now again. I do not have any children. I do have a dog though. What do I do all day? Well, I mean, I have very few hobbies. I am a smoker, so I like to smoke shisha and cigars. I like to spend time with my dog, and that's about it. So yeah, and I play some video games from time to time. Even played League of Legends. I could have been playing with Sam Bankman-Fried maybe, but I didn't though. But yeah, that is kind of what I do. Maybe a bit boring, but it is. I like to work. That's just the reality of things. Can we get a guide on PvP and a better understanding on how it works? Yes, we are improving the let's say how things work inside the game. I don't want to make full long tutorials that nobody will read. I want to make it as intuitive and as easy to understand as possible inside the game, and to also provide more and better information. For example, there are no, you know, ability information in the game right now, so that definitely needs to change, and the PvP system could be better explained as well. So I want to focus on that, and that's definitely an area that we're going to improve as time progresses. Will there be more professional looking marketing content on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter? I think we have pretty decently looking marketing content, but yes, we are always doing that. So yeah, we are doing that. Twitch, not so much. We're not going to live stream anytime soon. By the way, if I sound a bit odd, it's because I've been sick for a week, so hence why my voice is a bit deep and darkened. Will there be more modern looking and user-friendly redesign of the website? It looks a bit outdated. I fully disagree. I think our site looks very well, and it converts very well, so I don't see a need to do so. If you have a better looking site than AgeOfGods, then send it along. I challenge you to find me a better gaming website. Where are all the Age of God tokens in terms of the circulating supply? If 1% of the team vests, once the project reaches 1 billion market cap, does that mean that the other 99% is already in circulation? Well, it's a complicated question, but it's an easy answer. There's a tokenomics page on our website, and that clearly explains where what goes. It does not mean that at 1 billion market cap, the other 99% is in circulation. You can see which belongs where. What's important to know is that there's no more vesting. There's no more pre-sale tokens. So the only thing that will come into circulation is because of two things. One, the ecosystem of rewarding people for playing the game. So the PvP tournament rewards. There's staking rewards. And then outside of that, there's some marketing tokens that are spent to be able to afford marketing campaigns. And yeah, that's about it. So these are the only ways that the token inflation would happen, to have the other tokens go into circulation. And then there's the buyback wallet, who's 100% of all revenue that the project makes will be going to the buyback wallet. So the buyback wallet is just literally any NFT royalty, any in-game purchase, any revenue we make goes into there. And it's also the biggest single holder of AgeOfGods tokens, and they're not moving. Also, when we reach 1 billion market cap, it does not mean that we're going to sell that 1%. It just means that from that point onward, we could sell some small amounts. Before that, we're not selling anything. So that's a double whammy I think for people to understand is, one, the team is not selling. Plus, the team also does not have a large amount of tokens. Every other single project that I know typically holds like 10% or more of the tokens in the team hands and are selling. So big difference. Will you ever introduce payment options in the store in gold? Or will you ever introduce payment options in the store in gold coins earned in the game? For example, purchase gods, exchange of gold for GOG. No, definitely not. What you're basically asking for is more free money, more free AgeOfGods tokens, and that just causes inflation. It's just a very bad idea. Will there be any marketing outside of Brave at release of the full game? Probably yes. We have done a lot of marketing outside of Brave in the form of banner ads on DSC Scan, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, lots of ads. So most likely, yes. But we do partner up with Brave quite intensely because it's non-intrusive marketing, and I think they are the right partner in terms of getting your message out. And I also see that the Brave browser is growing. So we're building a very strong relationship with them. And we're also one of the first who got access to Brave search ads. So, that's basically like a Google AdWords type of ad. And I see huge potential there. So as Brave grows and scales, we grow and scale with it. So I really like that idea. Is there a minimum APR for staking? I'm worried it will go below 10% soon, which will make staking less attractive. I know 10% is still much compared to traditional saving accounts, but in crypto, it's not much compared to other projects. So I think you have the wrong idea here. If it goes below 10%, okay, that means that there's more staked and more tokens away from the circulating supply that will increase the price further, or the likelihood that it will go up quicker. So the lower the APR is, the less circulating supply there is, the higher the price of the tokens. So I disagree with here. There's not a guarantee we will not let it go below 10%. I do probably will keep it around that percentage though. So I do agree that if you go too crazy low, that there's no point in staking. But at the same time, like I said, we already spend a lot of tokens on rewarding people for simply holding. If we do that too much, you get not only a lot of inflation, but we'll also be out of tokens very quickly. And so it's just bad for the project. A APR that's like crazy high, like 40%, 50%, is not sustainable. Every other project that does that will collapse and have collapsed. So it's just a very bad idea to have such high inflation with staking. The only reason why it works temporarily is because they force you to lock it for a long period of time. And then, of course, once it unlocks, that's when all the damage happens. So again, I challenge you to find me any other project that's not the case. You will not find any. Do you guys actually read all the feedback? I assume that the Anubis ultimate bug must have been reported endless times. the one that causes the app to freeze. Yes, we do read all the feedback, but you have to understand that upgrading the game or removing bugs takes time, and we do not patch, let's say, every week or do hot fixes all the time. That's just not how our game development team works, because typically once you fix one bug, another bug happens, etc. So we have to be smart in our releases of updates and focus our dev efforts on making the MVP into the full game release 1.0. So that's why. So yes, it will be fixed, but MVP is just not perfect, and yes, it will have small issues like that. It is what it is. Will we be in all portfolio tracking sites and apps? Well, probably not all, but as many as we can, yeah. Does the team have any daily or weekly contract to Quaco Studios? Is there a long-time development contract or another kind of business connection? We work with a contract with certain milestones that are long-term. So there is a long-term developing contract. It's not a daily or weekly. Okay, I do not speak this language, so I don't know. You have to speak English in the questionnaire. Same here. Cannot read it. According to BSC scan, the holder count has been around 27,000 for a while now, not including sex users, of course. How about more marketing on Poolcoin, Dextel, CMC, and CoinGecko? While Brave is fine, I wouldn't focus on a single thing. We do not focus on a single thing. We have spent over $1 million on ads outside of Brave, so no idea what you're talking about, but we have been on all these things that you mentioned here. Any plans for more PvE levels? Yes, not a lot more levels, but we are adding a full new level with sub levels in it at the 1.0 game release. Game dev plans for as far as growth, additions, extra levels, change to combat. Yeah, we have a lot actually in the first game release. We are adding an extra level, so like I mentioned, there will be a huge amount of changes to combat. There will be the introduction of some randomization factors such as dodge, crit, and block. We're adding one new ability to each and every single god. So they will not only have an ultimate, but they will have another ability as well. And so some of them are randomly procced. So there's a lot of randomization that will happen with that. And then, of course, we're adding 10 new gods. So there will be 20 different gods in total at 1.0 game release with 20 new abilities and ultimates as well. So there's and then all these other factors that I just mentioned will definitely change the flow of the battle a lot and add more strategy, but also randomization in it, so it will be less boring. So these are definitely some things that will make the game a lot more interesting, and these are planned for this quarter. Okay. So currently it doesn't make a difference if you bought the NFTs at INO or if you buy them today. When players are at max level and gear, you will have the same strength team. Can anything be included in the game so that loyalty to the game counts towards a stronger team? For example, make a daily chest that gives a tiny amount of crit, block, or dodge XP. So if you log in daily and collect your daily chests, it's over time possible to gain crit, block, and dodge advantage. No, we're not going to do that because I want to encourage new players to join, and I don't want the old players to be at a huge advantage. So that's why we reward already people who log in daily with free gold and things to upgrade. So if you've been very active in this last 8-9 months, you will have a lot of gold, and then so you can upgrade much quicker than a new player. So you're already at an advantage in terms of how fast you can progress when 1.0 releases. But to put more advantages on that, I think would be unfair and also would make the game not fun for new players. In PvP battles, if I win with a noob special attack, the game freezes and the timer keeps going. To continue, we have to close the app and reload. Yeah, I'm aware. I think you're the same person asked the same question 2 times. Maybe not, but yeah, we're aware of this, and yeah, we will fix it. Gameplay becomes very laggy in final hours of PvP season. Is it possible to improve this? Yes. And it's because that's literally when, thousands of people are on the same time spamming it, which is an issue of itself. We're trying to improve that with changing the PvP mechanics. But yeah, some things are inevitable. Whenever there's some money to be earned, people try to exploit and abuse and try to do things that think that they're their advantage. So in this case, it's usually in the final hours that things go crazy in PvP, and so the servers get overloaded. And yeah, of course, we're improving this, but we're also trying to fix the source issue. What will be the price of the new NFTs? It will be the same as the price of the old NFTs. What is your opinion about the general wider market? Do you think it's bottom, and how do you see 2023 and 2024 playing out? It's a tough question, predicting the future here, but if I look at it from a standpoint of crashes in the past, what you tend to see happen at every time Bitcoin crashes, the cycle of each crash increases and the intensity of the crash decreases. So the bear market tends to be a little bit longer, and the amount of percentage that it went down goes lower. So I think the first crash something like 90% plus, then 90 in early 90s, and then somewhere in the 80% right now. So there's a decent chance, my point being there's a decent chance that we've bottomed out, and then that we can go up from there. And we're also entering the Bitcoin halving, the positive side of things. So we're going into the moving towards the halvening, and usually that typically is positive for Bitcoin, and things positive for Bitcoin and usually are connected to the wider cryptocurrency market. But we've also had a lot of shit and a lot of fucktards like SBF who really fucked the market. So I hope we can recover from that, and politicians are not going to do crazy shit with regulation. So that will be dependent on that. I think the market will recover, and how fast and how what will happen is hard to predict. But I think in general it's looking better and better every day, which is needed because the bear market is such a boring and also difficult time. And a lot of projects went under completely. So I'm happy that we're still here. The latest update to PvP created the possibility to simply spam attack players close to your position. Before there was more strategy. We had a choice to keep attacking from the list of random players given to gain as many points over a short amount of time, or keep searching until we found the player we really want to attack for strategic reasons, but at the sacrifice of the time taken to search. I don't see the need to add 5 ARG refreshes. Your cost to search is fine, and I would change the refresh button to a search button to generate another random selection of players to battle. Will the full game be completely different, or is it possible to go back to a search system? Well, we went away from this because there was a lot of abuse and in the wrong way possible with the old system. So now you're much more connected to players at the same power level as yourself. Obviously, in the MVP, there's not much power level difference between people. They've pretty much all are now all at max power. So the system is maybe not fully optimized and me working in the current MVP, but when the full game releases, it will be a lot better, I think. And we actually might change it even a little bit further, that you can't select anybody. It will just be automated to try to avoid any gaming of the system. There's always people trying to abuse or exploit or try to take advantage of a system or team up or all these things. So it's all very lame, and we're trying to create a system in a way where that's not possible. And people are very creative and trying to find new exploits. So we will continue to improve the system in a way that we'll try to avoid this as much as possible. But it's more likely that we're going to go in a direction of that the game will have an automated selection for a PvP combatant that is very close to you in power, so that it's a fair match. Another question: what a great job the AgeOfGods teams are doing so far with the project, including admin, the crypto experiment. Looking forward to the full game release and wishing everyone a great success in the future. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Will there be an automated swapping process where you do not have to top up the swapping wallet manually? No, because for safety reasons, if that would ever get hacked or any problems would arise, then that would be able to, there would be a lot of security issues there. So the hot wallet is always manually topped up and always manually checked. NFT owners will have additional opportunities like increased APR of staking or increased in-game gold. Maybe NFT owners could receive their rewards in GAOG if they want to. God, you guys want a lot of free stuff, huh? So NFT owners already have advantages in terms of stronger God. I do envision a sort of a VIP level system inside the game where you would get increased amount of gold inside the game if you own NFTs. That's definitely, that's definitely something, right? And so we will move towards that direction. But anything else, I think, is not needed. Maybe also just to clarify, the NFTs are supportive of the token. The token is not supportive of the NFTs, right? So the NFTs are there to serve the token, not the other way around. There was a 400k AgeOfGods transaction from the swapping wallet when it got the initial fund. What was that? Someone stole it all? Did it trigger the first big wave of selling? I have no idea what you're talking about, but nobody stole nothing, so we've not been hacked or whatever. I have no idea. There was not one 400k AgeOfGods transaction from any swapping wallet. I don't really know what you mean with swapping wallet, but the hot wallet doesn't have even that much AgeOfGods in it, so wouldn't be able to do that. So would love to know better what you mean with this, or send me the blockchain evidence and we can look into it. Did you ban any cheaters yet? Yes. If not, when did you plan to ban them? Well, no, we ongoingly ban people who cheat or who try to cheat or who attack us with bots or who try to bot the game. Lots of attempts, and we are basically on the 24/7 attack, from DDoSing to bot attacks to all kinds of crazy shit. It never stops. What will happen with the account and the accumulated coins, XP, and equipment after full game release? Will they be migrated to the new game? No, it will be the same game, so you will not lose it. After the new game release, will we be able to play from both apps and browsers? Yes, and we're also introducing iOS, so we will also support Apple moving forward. When aggressive marketing? Yeah, stupid question. We already do marketing and can always be more aggressive, but I hate these type of questions. If we purchase an NFT card, does that mean it automatically... Well, if we purchase an NFT card, does that mean it automatically a God level, or do we need to ascend 3 of the same rare gods to get to God level? Okay, I'm not really sure if I understand it fully, but the way the system works is that you need the NFT to be able to upgrade at all. So that's one. And then you need cards, right? And 3 cards equal the next level. So 3 cards from rare will make you a god. 3 god cards will get you to ascended god. And then 3 ascended god will get you to, I think, mythic gods after that. So it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So the further you go, the more of these cards you will need. So that's how it works. Any plan to balance teams compositions in order to not always see the same teams over and over? Yes, in the full game release, there already is a lot of changes and new abilities introduced and new gods introduced. So it will be a lot less likely that you're going to see the same teams. Although you will always have a meta and people trying to figure out what the strongest team is. So balancing and changing that will always be an ongoing thing. Can we have an open API? Would be awesome to make stats and build community tools from the game. Not a bad idea. I like it, but yeah, right now not a huge priority, but eventually, yes. Any plans of removing Telegram and switching to Discord? No. And Discord is also filled with scammers, so there's literally no difference. When we had Discord, it was also on a non-stop attack. They're everywhere. So we've chosen Telegram. We're going to stick with Telegram. Will the game in cost for AgeOfGods and spins change? It might. So we are moving into a more dollar-based system where the amount of GAOG will change depending on the value of GAOG. Because you're right that if we go to $1, it would be very expensive. So yeah, we are most likely going to go to a dollar cost situation. It might not happen at 1.0, but eventually we'll get there. Will the shop system change with the full game? Yes. Will we be able to buy any equipment, or shifting shopping opportunities will remain? It will still be shifting, and there will be more equipment or more gear to be gotten, and more levels there as well. So it will be more diverse. Same question for the rare card shopping. Will be able to buy any rare card, or the spinning remains? It has both already. There is one card that you can guarantee buy, and then there's the spinning. So both are there. So yeah, the system will remain the same. When new gods are released, how will the NFTs be distributed? We're gonna do an INO, and I'm in the process of trying to secure a NFT partner to do the INO with. As you know, we did our first INO with Binance. And the second, maybe we'll do it with them again, maybe not. Maybe there are other parties out there that want to partner with us as well, and it would be in our interest to do that with them. Not sure. It depends who has the better, who we can have a better partnership with, or has better advantages longer term. It is no secret that we're very Binance focused, but at the same time, we also have other strategic partnerships, as you know. So it is up for the taking for which exchange wants to support us, and you know, we have the biggest potential future upside with in the short term, and of course long term we want to be everywhere, so we want to work with everybody. I will say there one thing about NFT partnerships. NFT trading volume has gone down dramatically across the board, and so it's a lot less hot right now than it used to be, and so it is already much more difficult to do any NFT partnership at the moment. So this I know will be more difficult than the first one. For us though, there's no profit incentive, right? The whole incentive is to sell NFTs, is to buy back more tokens, because 100% of the NFT sold will be used to buy back tokens. So it's just good for the token price. How many accounts are staked? Well, you can see that in the in BSC scan. So if you go to the staking contract in BSC scan, it's the top holder. Well, after the Treasury, then you can see how many people are in it, because you can see the transactions. There's thousands. And yes, that means that it's not just the amount of token holders that you can see when you open our smart contract. You have to also kind of add the people that stake, because there's a lot of people who stake all their tokens. So technically they're not a holder on BSC scan, but they're all in the staking contract. So our amount of holders is much higher than what you can see on BSC scan. Will you automate the top up, or will you set some watcher to the top up wallet of staking? It looks worrying that it's depleted for days. It's not worrying at all. We are upgrading our system and in improving our security measures in preparation of the game. So we're not topping it up because we are doing maintenance. and that's been communicated on Telegram several times. So it's not worrying at all. It's just that we're upgrading our security measures in preparation for the game launch. I'd rather be safe than sorry in terms of our security with the game launch, that everything works well and that there will not be some hack or someone exploiting it. So we just want to make sure. Please read social in Instagram. No idea what you mean with it. I may have missed this if it's been answered before, but what happens when the treasury for staking, etc., is empty? Well, first of all, it's going to take a long time. It's not a bad question. We do have a buyback wallet that holds a lot of tokens. One day, if the treasury is completely empty, so yeah, there's no more money for it, we have two choices. Either we use the buyback tokens, and that will also them in temporarily for things, and that will be a community decision, or we are becoming more of a traditional model where the revenue that the game makes will then be moving forward, not bought back, but then given out for staking and for other rewards. So the game will just make revenue, and then with that revenue, we will give staking rewards and stuff like that. But the buyback wallet in its core it will never be moved unless one day, like I said, if all the treasury tokens would be empty and the community really wants it, then we could choose to do that. And this is why I'm not burning it. That's the only reason. But to be clear again, that's going to take a long, long time before the treasury is empty. Like we're talking years. What kind of activities can we expect for clans? It's a bit too early to discuss this because it's not going to be in 1.0. The eventual plan is to have clans, but I want to grow the player base more first. Doesn't make much sense to have a lot of clans right now. But just look at AFK Arena, what you can do with clans or guilds there. That's what we're aiming to recreate or to have in our game. How will the prices of things in-game go when How will the prices of things in-game go with the fluctuations in the price of AOG? A casual player might not want to spend 250 GOG for a God card if it takes $10 per token, for example. Yeah, so kind of answered this. This will most likely, at the time when it's $10 per AOG token, to have a dollar-based cost to buy things in the game, not to have just a pure token. So things will be connected to the dollar. Okay. Hi Zeus, finally we're getting recovered from bear market. Well, we're not sure yet, but okay, it could be. Now my question is your target is a billion market cap first and then to beat Axie? What makes us unique compared to other gaming projects? I know so many good gaming projects like us. Well, we have a lot actually. As far to my knowledge, we're the only one with 100% revenue buyback. So our tokenomics are superior. There's also no other projects, as far as I'm aware, with so little team tokens. So there's a lot less dumping and a lot less, yeah, the game basically really works for the token. I think that our universe that we're set in and the characters that we have are, it's like everybody knows them, right? But nobody owns the IP. So I think like if you look at Axie, tell me an Axie hero. Like nobody will know because it's like looks like a blob. But you know, we have Thor in the game. We have Odin, we have Zeus. So I think our universe is much more appealing than most other games. And so I think for mass adoption, we just have a better IP. That's what I think. And of course, we are behind in them in terms of game development and time. So we need to make the game better and more fun. So I'm not going to sit here and say that our game is much better or much more fun at the moment, but we're definitely going to go into that direction as time progresses. So eventually the game should just be better. That's the ultimate, reason why people would play the game, because the game is just better. When can we expect new listings? Cannot comment on that. Any conversation with any exchanges under non-disclosure agreement. If you break that, you immediately lose your chance to get listed. So it would be complete suicide to be talking about that. And any serious project would tell you the same. Anyone who doesn't do that is lying to you. So there's not a single big exchange out there that does not require a full NDA. And that's logical because any exchange listing will be met with volatility in terms of pump and dump. And so, then you can manipulate the market with insider knowledge, which is forbidden. Sorry about my voice. Basically, crypto is totally volatile according to your opinion. When do we reach $1? Just your guess. Well, I do not make price predictions for my own token as a pure principle. So I'm not going to make a prediction on that sense. My guess is before our game launch, just want to know your opinion. Again, I do not make price predictions. These are my questions. Hope you're doing good. Well, I've been better. I've been very sick for a week, so hopefully you guys can tolerate my voice. Please make a rest time like 3 to 5 hours before the new tournament starts, so the time of the tournament will be different each time tournament. In my country, the time of the tournaments end in office hours and I can't play it. Yeah, not a bad idea, but requires a technical change. And not the highest priority for me right now, but in the future, I definitely will take on this feedback. When moon? Well, when you guys stop selling and just buy more, that's when we moon. That's very simple. Will it be possible to pay by payment card, Google Pay, etc. in the game shop? We are implementing Apple Pay in iOS. And so we already have Crypto.com Pay. So yeah, it's likely that we'll add more of these type of things as time progresses. Looks like all the FUD and Black Swan events are in the past now. Well, not sure about that, but maybe. How do you feel about the overall crypto market for 2023, 2024? I kind of answered that, but it looks like we've bottomed out. And I think that, yeah, you're right that the biggest Black Swans hopefully are in the past. But that's the thing with Black Swans, right? They come and you didn't expect it. So a lot of things can happen that you didn't expect. It's just really hard to predict that. But fundamentally, I think it looks okay, and I hope that the whole economy will go better. And if the stock market does better, then typically crypto does as well. So it would be good, and that the regulators are not going to go crazy. That would be a big caveat. How are you finding making changes to the game? Is it easier or cheaper, faster to make one big update with lots of changes rather than small updates now and then? It's easier to make bigger updates from time to time because every time you update something, other shit will break. So you have to test a lot and it takes a lot of time. If you have a big development team and lots of testing and all that, multi-million-dollar budgets, then you can do more updates. But for a smaller studio, smaller team, smaller budget, so I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, not millions, then it's better to do bigger updates from time to time. Am I enjoying the experience? Yes, because it's always been my dream to make a game. So I'm doing AgeOfGods for fun, not for money. To be clear, I've never received a single dollar from the IDO. I've never received any salary. I've never sold any tokens. 100% of all the IDO money is put into the game and into market making and marketing and all that. So this is just a pure passion project, and I put the goal for the team, and which is me and my co-founder who own the team tokens, at 1 billion. So we're not selling anything until we're there. Why not active on social media other than Telegram? Well, I disagree. We are active, but maybe not active enough for you. That could be. We already are going to do more though. So we have invested in someone to help us with more posts. Um, yeah, so that's it. Tokenomics. We know what percentage was supposed to be allocated and where, like based on the AgeOfGods webpage section, tokenomics 1% team. Yeah, this is all correct. How much of these percent was already spent? How much of the 151 million tokens sitting investing goes out and where? Okay, so very detailed question around tokenomics. I do not have every single one exactly top of mind how far we are, but it basically goes per demand, right? The game development only goes whenever there's new game development things happening or new costs coming. Marketing is the same. If we are making a lot of marketing cost, then we also are having to sell more marketing tokens. It's that simple. Ecosystem is very predictable though. Ecosystem is literally the staking. So you take the total, you look at the APR, that's the amount that it costs per year. And then every 2 weeks, the PvP rewards. So in that sense, you could calculate it. These other two are less predictable in that sense. Okay, here's some really bad math. I just noticed that. Okay, staking consumes approximately 40 million a year. No, it absolutely does not. We have around 40 million tokens staked with a APY of around 10%. So that's 4 million a year, not 40. If 4 million is 40 million is staked, then that is roughly 4 million tokens per year. Per year, not per month, per year. So your math is very wrong, and that's why you're probably scared about this, because you didn't do your math right. If you have more questions, Bumblebee, I'm happy to go more in depth with you on this one, but it will be way too long for this video. But rest assured, your math is completely off. AgeOfGods is growing and gaining more popularity over time. When AgeOfGods reaches 4,000 extra players playing with NFT cards, what happens with respect to payouts and NFT cards? So you are right that we are getting more popular over time. Our active player base is growing. I expect that therefore the demand for the NFTs to grow, and yeah, the amount of NFTs will not change. So, you know, higher demand for less amount of cards available means that the value of these cards will go up. It's that simple. Payouts will go up in that sense when there's more active players, more people joining the pool, let's say, then the pool increases. If you type /payout in the in Telegram, you can click on the overview of how much GAOG we're giving away every 2 weeks, depending on how big the player pool is. But in general, the bigger the player pool, the more rewards are given to everybody. So there's more of a share, because more people want to earn something, right? So it's a bit, and also the amount of people that finish in the money, let's say, increases. It's based on poker, by the way. If you have a big poker tournament, there's more people finishing in the money than when it's a small tournament. So that's where it's coming from. And that math, that's what we're using. Are you looking in the direction of partnering with Web3 blockchain gaming platforms to increase AgeOfGods visibility to more Web3 game players? Sure, we are, but many of them are really bad or have very crazy money expectations of how much we got to pay. But if there's good Web3 blockchain gaming platforms out there that want to partner with us, I'm always open to talk with them for sure. But obviously not going to pay crazy money just to have my project on some website with barely any traffic. Hello, AgeOfGods. I saw your project looks promising, and I definitely hope for success. My name is Jessa from a blockchains Philippines and business process. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is not a question. This is just an ad. Okay, sorry about that. By the way, I don't prepare for these. I do all these answers on the spot, right? So I didn't read through all the questions. Hi Zeus, can you talk through your what's next document in detail, going through each point, adding your thoughts or rationale, fleshing out the document? I mean, I could. It's too much for this AMA though, because there's too much in it. But I might make a separate video going over that. So it's a good question. Hi Zeus, I noticed in the game releases in 1.0, can you talk through the work that will be done to release 2.0 and the potential timeline considerations for the 2.0 release? Well, the process to start 2.0 starts once 1.0 is released, so not before. And the potential timeline for that is hard to predict at the moment because we haven't even released 1.0 yet. So there's that. Then obviously once we release 1.0, there's a lot of feedback and things that people want or things that have to change. So that will take priority. Once that's done, or we've sort of covered all the major feedback in the beginning, that's where 2.0 begins and where our focus is going to go into improving the game further. And what that exactly will entail is hard to say, but that's really where we're going. And if you want to look at an example of a game that is kind of what we want to be, it's AFK Arena. That's really where we want to go, and that's how we want the game to look like and to function as. And that has a lot more features and a lot more things than us. So there's so much that we could still do. And so those are the considerations. And then we go for the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that makes the biggest impact, the things that people care about the most. That's where we're going for first for 2.0. Hi Zeus, what's your overall assessment of the health of the project to date? We've achieved a significant roadmap objectives in the past year. However, are you happy with the progress? Are we ahead of where you expected us to be, or are we on point? I think we've done pretty well. We've tripled the amount of holders, probably quadrupled at this point, because it's really hard to tell, right, how many holders there are on KuCoin and on Gate. We have the partnerships that I want us to have. So we're dealing with the bigger exchanges, and we are there in the spaces that we need to be. I think that a lot of people are holders because they just want to see the token grow and that's it. They're not interested in the game, which is a disappointment, of course. So I want the game to be better for that to change, and that the product is a much more center focused than pure speculators. Because speculators, they're always going to be there, don't get me wrong, but I don't want us to be a meme project, right? So our focus is the product and improving the product. And I am hopeful that the game release will be really a big piece for that. So am I happy? Yeah, I think I'm happy, but I want the game to be better, and I think that there's so much work to be done there still, and it goes very slow. I think developers are very slow, and it doesn't matter if you put more money to it. It doesn't mean that the game will be done quicker. So, some things require time, and I'm an impatient man. So I would love us to be further already. But I am happy with what we achieved, yeah, and I've delivered on every promise that I made. So in that sense, that's good. Okay, when game 1.0 is launched, what are your plans to engage and retain the gaming community? Will the Telegram mods, Discord, etc. change at all? I think our Telegram coverage and our policy to answer every single question in Telegram is pretty good. It doesn't need any improvements. We literally answer every single question. And keep in mind, our moderator works for free because we do not pay any salaries, including for yours truly. I don't earn anything. So yeah, we're not going to change that. It's better for the project. Does Binance or any other potential top 10 exchanges take into consideration the percentage of stake tokens when reviewing a listing application? Do they see it as a positive that the community is strong, and they say it as a sign that you're supporting the project in the long term? So in my time at KuCoin, staking is not necessarily a big factor in deciding for reviewing a listing application. Not really. In fact, Most staking contracts are horrible for the long-term future for a project. Short-term, it could be very good though. Ours is different because you can unstake at any time, and also the penalty is small. Even if you unstake earlier than 90 days is small, and when you stake longer than 3 months, there's no penalty. So our staking contract is very flexible and has none of that negative craziness happen, that if you say you stake for 1 year and you lock it and you get a crazy APR, like that's bad for projects. So it's not a big factor for exchanges. The community, however, and how strong they are, if they're positive or not, is a big factor. So see CoinMarketCap comments, Telegram chat, they're all being monitored, they're all being looked at. If people are constantly negative and all that, then that's really bad for a project. Please, when should we expect the end of season rank and ticket purchase history logs? These are definitely things that we're looking to improve with the game release. What are the 3 most important values to you and why? Well, in what? In life, in the game, in crypto? I don't know. Important values. For me as a person, my whole life and meaning what I get out of life is to make things possible that otherwise wouldn't have been. So that's the only thing that really gives me any satisfaction, I've been rich for many years, and money itself, it doesn't really change much after a certain point. And so you don't get any satisfaction or happiness out of it. And life can be quite boring, especially if you don't have any hobbies like me. So I think making things possible for others that I care about, and seeing their life changes for the better, that's the thing that means a lot to me. So I think those values matter. And then again, values in relationships or values for other things. It's a very deep question, but I hope I answered it a little bit. What would you consider a success for this project, and what would you consider as a failure? I would consider it a success if we become the #1 gaming project in crypto, and only then would I consider it a success. When would I consider it a failure? Well, if I would not have been able to release the game, if there would be no game, then it would be a failure. If I deliver a game that's not fun, I still delivered the game, right? So, and if it's fun or not is depending on your opinion. So I would not consider it a failure then. So I think the project would have failed if I would not have delivered on the things that I promised I would do. And I've done that. So in that aspect, it's already not a failure and couldn't be a failure. But it's only a success when we're the #1. What was your biggest failure or lesson learned in your professional career? What did you learn, and how does that play a part in your leadership today? Biggest failure. Thinking out loud now. In life, I've had many failures and lessons learned. Hmm. I think that one of the biggest lessons learned in managing people and in my commercial experience is that pretty much everybody in this universe, their whole world evolves about themselves, and you have to realize that once you deal with other humans, whether they're in your team or whether they're in you're facing them as a potential partner or a customer or prospect, they only care about themselves. Nobody cares about anybody else. And that's a cold hard truth, the cold hard reality that you can things can go wrong pretty easily if you don't realize that. So people are only looking out for themselves and maybe their family, but that's about it. And so once you deal and engage with others, you really have to try to put yourself in the other person's standpoint and other person's standpoint of view, and engage with them what they care about and not what you care about. That's the only way you're going to be able to connect with others, and the only way that you're going to achieve anything. So this goes when I talk with the game development team, when I talk with my market maker, when I deal with an exchange. If I want something done from them, I need to be them and think like them, because that's the only way that I'll get anything done. So that's the one of the maybe easier said than done type of thing, but well, if you truly do that and you truly understand it and you truly are interested in the other points of view, that's where you will get stuff done. So, and that's also in my leadership today, how I try to steer people. Hi Zeus, have you gotten any stats on the percentage earned of tokens in our staking pool or harvested versus simply compounded? No, but it's an interesting exercise that we could go over. I would have to use blockchain data to go over that. I think just simply based on that the staking amount is growing, that there's way more people compounding than there are people harvesting and selling. So the evidence of that is just that the staking pool continues to grow. Of course, there are also new holders joining in and staking, but again, just based on that, I think that that's the answer. It is growing because there's more people compounding than there are people harvesting. Okay, so those were 69 questions. Thank you so much for asking them. Again, apologies for my voice, and I'll see you guys in the next one.